Cindy, you hit it on the head there. Like they're trying to get you to not even believe your own eyes. So, you do start to see a lot of these wafting energies. And what's going to happen when plasma comes in and it takes on the look of a dragon in the skies and the petroglyphs that we've seen on the canyon walls. And now they're trying to say, no, you're not seeing energy waving out there. Those are noctilucent clouds. They're always going to try to tell you it's something else because it does sort of look like it. And they already have a pre-made excuse for all these different energetic features, if you will, what they're going to look like. There's already a predetermined excuse for it. Hyperinflation, 11 million job openings, and an energy crisis. Sound familiar? It's like Jimmy Carter in the 1970s all over again. Americans are paying twice as much at the gas pump and the grocery store. The Democrats control all three branches of government, and there's just a couple of questions you need to ask yourself. Do you think you'll be better off in 2022 than you have been in 2021? And do you think the stock market will trade higher the next 3 years than it did from 2016 to 2020? If the answer is no, learn how simple it is to add physical gold and silver to your portfolio ahead of the rise in inflation and predicted price rises. Patriot Gold Group has the no fee for life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold and silver. Call 1-800-356-4470 and get a free investor guide today. And with the knowledge that Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs' top-rated gold IRA dealer from 2016 to present, click on the link in the description box below for more information. And now on with the video. Right here with Michael and Cindy from Evolutionary Energy Arts. Now, Cindy, you hit it on the head there. Like they're trying to get you to not even believe your own eyes. So, you do start to see a lot of these wafting energies. And what's going to happen when plasma comes in and it takes on the look of a dragon in the skies and the petroglyphs that we've seen on the canyon walls? And now they're trying to say, no, you're not seeing energy waving out there. Those are noctilucent clouds. They're always going to try to tell you it's something else because it does sort of look like it. And they already have a pre-made excuse for all these different energetic features, if you will, what they're going to look like. There's already a predetermined excuse for it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't believe your own eyes. They don't work. Or your feeling too. That's all made up stuff. That's the message we're getting now. You can only listen to doctors and scientists, and that's it. Nothing else counts.
And when did these terms come into being too? That's another thing. Like you said, oh, don't worry, it's just noctilucent clouds. Those are red sprites, or
those are canyon wall figurines coming to life again, holding state for 8 seconds after the air glow. That's not normal. I mean, it's a repeat, but it is normal, but we just didn't see it yet.
Well, when we come out of all this, we can focus on the destruction and the mayhem that's coming. But the reality is the people that are going to be coming to incarnate again on Earth are coming into something that's going to be so much better than what it is now. Totally, totally different. And life is going to be something we can't comprehend, really. You would think of it as being more like that heavenly existence. But there's a reason why we choose to come here. And it is for soul growth and all too. But it is a nice experience when we're not in the Kali Yuga. You could almost look at it when you go to the higher densities, fifth density, most beings don't have to eat at all. If they do eat, they just simply consume prana from the environment around them for the most part. And they do have these cool looking energetic fruits that they do partake in a celebratory way. I'm sure there's beings that miss what it actually feels like to squish a mango, a ripe, juicy mango in your mouth. Taking a sunset and feel that breeze, there's a little more excitement. And that's part of what we have here in this 3D world. Everything's just more intense.
A lot more intense. More intense. A true experience that you get to take with you when you decide to return. We're all very unique, beautiful pieces of source who have come here to experience ourselves, to have these experiences. And it's really sad that the way things are with organized religions, that people are shunned for trying to experience their existence. That makes me so sad.
If your true state of being is nothing but pure consciousness, that's going to always be and always has been, you might get a little bit bored. You might create some adventures for yourself. You might have these adventures have a little skin in the game, so to speak. Danger, just like a good movie, just like a good video game. If a video game was just watching daisies slowly grow, it's not going to catch the attention of too many people.
Versus a pit of crocodiles ready to nip at your heels. Yeah, let me ask you a quick question, a real one here. Like these powers, the innate powers are going to continue to grow every day. And at some point, it's just going to be massively understood that we all have these powers. So how do you know when these powers are activated in yourself? And I don't really need me to say activated, but you're understanding that there's something that you can do differently now. And it's hard to explain that. But how do you grow those in terms of being able to make things manifest faster? Maybe not instantly, but near instant, or being intuitive, or, being able to use the energies out of your hands to coax plants to grow 180 times faster than normal. First of all, how do people know? And then how do they grow? Like exercise in a gym, you want to build the muscles, but again, these kind of powers. So maybe all these superhero movies are pre-planned to tell you, hey, everybody's going to get like crazy powers. So how do you know when it's there for you, but how to grow it too?
You got to ask yourself the question, what are these abilities? What are these things people are talking about? That's kind of a sign that the pineal gland is starting to open. You're starting to see beyond the veil, understanding that there is more than what I've been taught all of my life. I know there's more out there. And then I always feel the best thing to do after you ask yourself this question is take a look at your diet, because they put so many things in front of us to eat to suppress these abilities. Look at your diet. That really needs to get cleaned up. And then things like exercise and mantras, meditation, all of these things working together can help you answer those questions. But first thing is somebody has to ask about it first.
Yeah, you have to build your ability to focus. And it takes repetition. Can't grab a basketball for the first time and shoot and think you're going to be LeBron James or Michael Jordan if you go back to my era. It takes
Yo, old
muscle
timer.
memory.
Tell us about the old days. Did you have electricity back then?
I know, right? When we had to walk 20 miles to school, uphill both ways in the snow. But, it's that muscle memory. It's the same thing. Practices right now, like if somebody's going to take up yoga and qigong and meditation, tai chi, pranayama, all these mind-body pursuits, you're going to make progress probably in 2 months that it would have taken you 10 years, a decade ago. Literally, it's just amazing what we can do right now. So like if everybody out there just closes their eyes for a moment and puts their feet flat on the ground, hopefully you don't have rubber shoes on, because that could definitely impede the life force. Just visualize with every breath that you take, feel the life force that's all around you, the force that Yoda speaks of. Mm-hmm. That's really what it's based on. The ki, the chi, the prana, the ril. Inhale in and see if you could sense this energy coming into the body. Pull it in through every single pore. And, do it with a little bit of force. So as you breathe in, do an abdominal breath. So let your diaphragm drop down, let your belly expand fully, feel a little expansion on the sides and the low back, and pull in this energy. And see if you could feel a little tingling, a little perhaps feel of fuzziness, a little bit of maybe a buzzing going on. Maybe you start to notice, hey, my palms are tingling a little bit, or I feel a little tingling, on the soles of my feet. That's connecting to the life force because it follows our intention. So when I'm doing qigong, it actually gets so that, my feet feel like anchors on the ground. And sometimes I feel like I'm going to break the tiles that I'm standing on because it's getting so intense. I've had times doing it barefoot out on ground that normally I wouldn't make an imprint on, but then when I get done, there's 2 big footprints, just like I went and stood in snow, because of that magnetic connection pulling the life force in. So that practice alone, if you just practice that, just intentionally know you're pulling the life force in with each breath. And then when you exhale, just see your entire body glow. If you want to increase your overall physical health, see it as a vibrant green. If you want to increase the vibrational frequency, see it as a violet color. It's a very high vibrational frequency. Each color has its own frequency and wavelength. And the violet is at the top of the visible spectrum. So that will help the ascension energies. Just focus on that. And I bet you most people will start to sense the energy just after doing it maybe a handful of times. And many people might feel it the first time out if they just simply clear their mind and focus on nothing but the breathing.
Great advice, because you could use that in any kind of panic situation too. Just sit there and take a breath or two before you act irrationally or completely out of impulse or fear. Take in that breath for a second, even if it just slows you down for 1 or 2 seconds, so you can sort of recoordinate your brain. Because these times are going to be interesting and trying, and we'll need almost every hack that there is out there to be able to get us through this all.
Yeah, the autonomous nervous system. We're only basically, it's a two-way switch. You're on fight or flight, or you're in rest and digest. When you abdominal breathe slowly, like you're going to do in that practice, most meditations, most, not all parts of Qigong, there's some practices like bellows breath, which is kind of like what Wim Hof does to build up a lot of life force quick. But most of it will take you into that rest and digest. So you're no longer producing cortisol. Automatically, you're de-stressed.
Amish farm, they're closing down to just 2 days a week now. So we've been buying 40 pounds of snacking peppers at a time, 50 pounds of Italian sweet peppers, dehydrating it, everything, the red, the yellow, the greens, but at the same time trying to blend and cook everything every day, because that's where we're going to move back to. You're not going to be getting strawberries in the middle of January anymore. Like, our diets are going to revert back pretty much to what you can get locally. So if you start preparing now on knowing what you could eat, what you can prepare from all the ingredients in the different seasons. But see, it's cold now and we're using an oven, knowing what you can get from your local area and then turning that into sustenance instead of being on the junk food, because eventually the junk food's going to get too expensive too. And I'd rather have healthier foods.
That'll help with your awakening too, healthier foods.
Absolutely. Because the people that can't sense the energy, usually they're, drinking soda, they're eating all sorts of GMO foods or chips. And, they're also unfortunately on big pharma. Pretty much everything that could be prescribed to you is that it shuts down your pineal, it lowers your frequency. That's part of the whole system that we're in, unfortunately. So yeah, getting back to nature, using natural things to cure, growing your own food, getting in tune with the cycles, all very powerful.
Start learning about alternative healing, because there might be a time when we don't have access and we're going to need to know the ins and outs of herbal remedies, and they are powerful.
So that should get your list of to-dos started for the next week. I'm David Byne, Adapt 2030. I was right here with Michael and Cindy from Evolutionary Energy Arts. Now, I know you all been having some problem on YouTube, like everybody else, including myself. Demonetized videos, things disappearing in the middle of the night. What happened to that? So how are we able to, or anybody able to, find you, contact you, see what you're doing out there? Because I've been moving over to BitChute and Rumble with a lot of my deeper content, like our interview tonight. I'm going to have to scrape an enormous amount of talk out just to put it up on YouTube. Where can people find all of your incredible ideas? And like I say, reach out to you if they want to contact you.
Well, EEARTS is the channel that we post on every day. So there might be 1 or 2 days out of the entire year that we don't post on that channel. Evolutionary, will be starting to post on it again. Of course, our website, evolutionaryenergyarts.com, that talks all about us. So we're both energy workers. Cindy is amazing in her gifts. She really is kind of like Whoopi Goldberg from Ghost. And then we both do energy work. I'm a Reiki master teacher and a Qigong practitioner, pranic healer. Cindy does Vedic astrology. She could do astrological charts. So that's really what we do when we're not doing the videos. And we are on Rumble too, Brightian.
Brightian. Yeah, that's a great one. Mike Adams' site.
Yeah, we've been on Brightian for, I think, about 18 months. And that we have no problem getting stuff up. So on Brightian, it's under Evolutionary Energy Arts. And then on Rumble, it's under EEARTS, EE Arts.
I mean, by the time we're old and gray, we'll have gone through 30 more platforms if we continue on the way we're going. We hope you got something out of our conversation, because it is serious time, but it's also requiring some serious solutions and serious thinking outside of the conditioning that we've been given. We're infinite beings, and it's time to take our planet back.
And we will.